Harris County, Texas, Houston, Texas. The grand jury there has failed to indict Planned Parenthood for selling the body parts of babies. Guess who they did indict? I'm Randall Terry. This is Voice of Resistance, and this is an outrage.
Those who forsake the law praise the wicked. Those who uphold the law resist them. Welcome to the Voice of Resistance. Here's your host, Randall Terry.
David Daladin and Sarah Merritt, two courageous pro-life activists who went undercover posing as a company that would buy fetal body parts, the bodies of babies brutally murdered by abortion. Those who are entrenched in the pro-life movement have known for years that various abortion mills were trafficking in the body parts of dead babies. This is a crime against God. It is a sin and a crime that cries to God for vengeance and for judgment, on top of the crime of murdering the babies. David Daladin and Sarah Merritt went undercover, had hidden cameras, and in multiple jurisdictions showed Planned Parenthood employees bartering and negotiating for the sale, often the illegal sale, of the body parts of innocent babies that were butchered on their premises. The grand jury in Harris County was seated to see if Planned Parenthood had committed a crime and if any of their employees should be indicted. To the shock and to the horror of millions of pro-life Americans, for that matter, millions of Americans with half of a heart and a quarter of a brain, they did not indict Planned Parenthood, but instead indicted David Daladin and Sarah Merritt. One of the counts was on tampering with governmental documents. And from what I've read, it appears to me it's because they had false California driver's licenses, okay? They had to have ID, so they showed the Planned Parenthood employees false IDs. Never mind the fact that probably 10% of California is involved with the illegal use of false IDs, social security numbers. There's a lot of illegal immigrants there, and there's an awfully good chance that a lot of them have illegal driver's licenses or tampered with or fake, but I digress. The other one was that they illegally purchased fetal body parts or negotiated to purchase. But they didn't indict Planned Parenthood? Are you kidding me? In other words, how can I buy something illegally unless someone sells it to me illegally? So this is clearly a witch hunt of some kind. And we can only hope and pray that the officials of Harris County have the integrity and the courage to tell the grand jury to get lost. But more importantly, thankfully, the governor of Texas has declared that he will continue with his state investigation, criminal investigation of Planned Parenthood, and will do everything in his power to protect the unborn and to cease the illegal criminal sale of fetal body parts. So we tip our hat to the Texas governor, Greg Abbott. My wife, we intended to cover this today, but my wife, before the broadcast, made a very serious request of me and asked me if I would use this as a teaching moment without being angry to explain a scam that is going on right now that involves potentially significant sums of money. Okay? It's a scam. And I agreed to do it. It's hard for me to not get angry. Behind this smiling face, yes, there is seething rage at points. Because of injustice, we should be angry. at certain things that are just wrong. So I'm going to take a break. When I come back, I'm going to talk about petitions, particularly the petition that is being sent out by a pro-life group online, allegedly on behalf of David Daladin. Please, please stay with me and learn how you are being had and what you can do to actually have an impact for people like David Daladin. How would you like your name or the name of somebody that you love to be listed as a producer of our upcoming series, What Would Mohammed Do? If you are in a position to give a $1,000 gift, we have to buy some computer gear and some 4K monitors that cost about $12,000. One computer and 2 monitors, $12,000, because they're broadcast quality. This is not a Hewlett-Packard laptop, okay? If you can be one of those 12 people who give $1,000 or more, we will list you as a producer in the series, What Would Mohammed Do? Or if you want to do it in memory of a loved one, we will do that as well. Please go to the GoFundMe site you see, watch the pilot, and if you say, I want to be a part of that, give a $1,000 gift, and we will put you or the person you choose as a producer of this TV series. I thank you in advance. God bless you. Do you remember the scene in Amazing Grace where those who were fighting to end slavery in England rolled the petition out on the floor of Parliament? In our own Constitution, the right of the people to petition the government for redress of grievance is enshrined. The reason is that at that time, a petition, to sign a petition with your real name, your real signature, your real address, could put you in jeopardy. It might cost you your freedom. It might cost you your property. It might cost you your life. Imagine signing a petition today in downtown Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, saying that you want to publicly declare that Muhammad was a false prophet. You want to just publicly preach that Jesus Christ is the Son of God, petitioning the Saudi Arabian authorities to build a church. You're going to get in a heap of trouble with that petition. It might cost someone their life. I just want you to see my point, that petitions at various times in history really required bravery, and there was the possibility of a direct impact on public policy, all right? So there is historically an honorable place that petitions hold. Today, petitions, the idea of a petition, especially an online petition, is being falsely portrayed as a mechanism to alter or to impact public policy, when in fact, it's used to gather names and addresses for future fundraising. The end. Now think about this with me. First, what we're going to do is we will read to you the petition that was put up by a group called, or a man named Steve Ertelt, who runs a website called lifenews.com. All right? Here is the petition. We call on Harris County District Attorney Devon Anderson to drop all the charges against David Daladin and to instead properly investigate Planned Parenthood and charge it with any appropriate charges related to its activities selling the body parts of aborted babies. Sadly, they forgot to mention Sarah. Sarah Merritt also is charged. Hopefully they'll change this petition. All right, so then it's got the little button, as you can see, sign the petition. You scroll up the page and you see that this is put out on a website, a tool called Go Petition, Changing the World. Now, does anyone think that once they click here and they give their email address, and they're required on this petition to give their real name and their snail mail address, their U.S. mail address, where they live. How do you think that this is going to impact Devon Anderson on behalf of David Dallatin? How is this going to help him? Are they going to print all the names and addresses? Are they going to send a paper copy to Mr. Anderson? Are they going to send him a link? Are they going to forward a link to the names? Really and truly, does anyone think that Mr. Anderson cares about this? But who benefits? How is this going to help David? Does he get the names? No. Because Go Petition says that you can't give the names or sell the names to third-party people. Some of these places allow you to rent the names. I'll get to that in a minute. But this one, it's just the person collecting the names and the addresses who gets to keep them and to use them. Now, we run a small ministry here. We have names, we have addresses in an email database and in a snail mail database. And those names are of value to us in part, because they are people who believe in what we're doing. And when we tell them about a need, like buying new cameras, teleprompters, helping us finish the studio, whatever it might be, people will send gifts. That's how we function. So the names that we have acquired over the years because of our work, the people who support us, we cherish those people. We need those people to exist. But how did we come up with the names? That's the issue. How did we come up with the names? It was because people believe in what we're doing. When I ran for president, people who were total strangers sent us money, and then we had their name, and we could send them another request asking for more money for the presidential campaign or for the congressional campaign that I ran. So there is value to somebody who obtains these names. Here's the problem. People are signing their name to this, giving up their email address and their snail mail address under the false assumption that the petition will have any impact, when in fact, these petitions are a mechanism for people to get names and addresses who are then viewed as potential donors. If you sign this petition, it doesn't help David, but it may help the people who have put the petition out. It's about name acquisition. That's what it's called in the fundraising industry, name acquisition. Now I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to go further in this when I come back, all right? This is one of the sad and sort of dirty little secrets of the religious right, the pro-life movement, on how it raises billions of dollars. It's hot button issues and false promises. I'm sorry, but that is what is going on all over the country. And we're focusing on this because this courageous man, David Dallatin, has put himself way out there on a limb. And now we have people capitalizing on his sacrifice for themselves. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas referred to John Locke twice in his dissent in the Obergefell decision. John Locke is referred to as the philosopher of American liberty. He was a genius, and he not only believed in natural law, but he believed in revealed law, the Word of God, the law of God. And he is one of the two most influential philosophers on the founders of this republic. We are offering you this book, and I'm going to give you my book as well, The Sword. The Sword, The subtitle is The Blessing of Righteous Government and the Overthrow of Tyrants. It looks at what is the legitimate purpose of government and when is it our right to overthrow government like they did with the Declaration of Independence. We will send you these 2 books if you simply pay for the shipping and handling, $8, and then give whatever else you want. And by the way, the $8 doesn't cover our cost, but if that's all you can afford, we'll send them to you for the $8. God bless you. As we look at petitions and David Daladin, I want to give you a word of caution for you. Petitions have a history that goes back hundreds of years, an honorable tradition. The problem is now they have virtually no impact unless it's very local and it's paper copies and somebody whose job is on the line at a very local, very immediate level on an immediate issue. Then they could go, whoa. All right, then they might say, hold on, you got 222 signatures saying that this neighbor who's got 100 cats in her yard, that we've got to deal with it, it's a health issue, we better go look at it. All right, so that aside, in the realm of cyberspace, I think that we can safely say that this petition will not help David Daladin. Here's the problem for you, for me. We are all commanded to remember those in prison as if in prison with them. Jesus said, I was hungry, you fed me, naked, you clothed me. We know that it is our Christian duty to love our neighbors as ourselves, and that means to help them, right? Jesus said, when the Pharisee, willing to justify himself, said, well, who's my neighbor? Jesus said, I'll tell you a story about a man going from Jerusalem to Jericho who fell among thieves and was beaten and robbed and left for dead. And a Samaritan came along, and you know the story. The Good Samaritan saved the man. He risked his life to save him because criminals could have been there and attacked him. He used his own money to the innkeeper. Here, I'm going to prepay you. If there's more, I'll pay you when I come back through. He got himself dirty, bloody, muddy, right? In other words, there was personal cost. We know that we have a duty to God and man to love our neighbor as ourselves. And petitions like this they may give us a false sense that we have discharged our duties. I've done what I could do to help David. It also can dissipate righteous anger. Now, I've spent a lot of time in Houston. I was thrown in jail by a Harris County judge who was in the pocket of Planned Parenthood. She actually got Planned Parenthood money for donations to get herself elected. And then when we protested outside of Planned Parenthood on a public sidewalk across the street and refused to stop, I was thrown in jail for contempt of court. And we lost, and the attorney's fees issued by this judge to me ultimately went to Planned Parenthood's attorneys, and I lost my home, okay? So I know some of the shenanigans that can go on in Harris County. But if someone wants to help David in Harris County, then you go to the district attorney's office and you have a protest. Find out where he lives, and according to Frisbee v. Schultz, you can picket in the neighborhood of someone. So go to the neighborhood where the man lives and walk up and down the street holding signs saying, we call on Devon Anderson to drop the charges against David Daladin and Sarah Merritt, and we call upon him to bring charges against Planned Parenthood. In other words, stir the pot. It costs you something. You have to be in the heat. You have to travel. You have to spend time and money. There's a genuine sacrifice there, like the Good Samaritan who helped the man in the ditch. So my warning to you, and I've got to take a break, but I'm going to come back and show you more how this is just a scam. My warning to you is, as a Christian brother, a friend to you, be careful. Be careful that you don't assume or believe that your duty in any number of areas has been discharged because you signed an email petition. And by the way, think with me, those of you who do this, or the ones who sign snail mail ones, U.S. mail petitions, think with me. You know, I signed that petition and now I get emails from them all the time asking for money. You know, I signed that paper petition and now I get letters all the time asking me for money. And another petition for me to sign, but they always ask me for money. Are you starting to see? It's about name acquisition, getting names and addresses, email addresses or snail mail addresses, so that they can come to you to raise money. There is money that is people are attempting to raise money off of David Dalladin's courageous sacrificial efforts. I don't seem to remember the Good Samaritan ever trying to raise money for the ministry of helping people dying in the ditch. He just sacrificed, and he did it himself. Friend, this TV show represents a mission. It's to be a voice of resistance to the evil in the land, but also to inspire people like you to take a stand at any level that you might be able to equip you, to inspire you, to challenge you, to give you the rhetorical ammunition that you need. But we still have to pay bills. This program, as you know, if you're a regular viewer, we don't spend a lot of time raising money. We don't spend a lot of time saying, oh, you need to buy this and we're going to... No, we're bringing you a message, but we still have bills that we need to pay. I'm asking you, if you have been blessed by this show, to please go to our website or send a check to the address you see on the screen or call the phone number that you see on the screen and use your credit card and to give $50 or $100 or $500 just to help us meet our normal expenses. And we'll keep bringing you this hard-hitting show. Okay, I've got to be quick. We're going to look at the testimonials and then the terms of use on this to prove my point. All right, so you go to Go Petition, testimonials. Look at the top one. Wonderful site and easy to use. Thank you for the opportunity. Next one. Great site. Next one. Go Petition is a good tool which we have used before. Keep up the good work. Go Petition provided a good learning experience. Notice that they're saying that the site is great. They're not saying that they accomplished anything with their petition. They're praising the site. Oh, and look down at this one. Go Petition is the only affordable petition site that lets you keep your signatures. And that's what this is all about. That's what I told you. It's about name acquisition. So we'll go to terms of use. In K, it says members, people who put out a petition, must use signature lists, including email addresses, responsibly, legally, and in compliance with our privacy policy. In other words, you get the email addresses. Probably get the snail mail addresses too. You can't sell them, you're not supposed to, but you get to keep them and you get to use them. And that's what this is all about. But notice number M. Petitions must not discuss evidence before the courts or show contempt of any court in any jurisdiction. A petition may not lobby court official in any matter that is before the courts. Well, that's what they're doing here. They're lobbying David Anderson. He is a court official. Trust me, he's an officer of the court. A petition cannot lobby jurors or make any comments about them. I mean, friends, if you want to help David Dalladin, then you go to Harris County and you create a fuss. Of course you're going to say to the judge and to the prosecutor and everyone else, this is an outrage. And they're saying here, no, you can't do that on our site. So this petition doesn't even agree with the rules of this site. But remember, what this is about is name acquisition. It's not going to help David. It's about getting names so that those names can be used to get money. That's why I say it's a scam.